The fact that you clicked on this video so fast lets me know you want Billy Napier fired. Billy Napier's time as the Florida Gators head coach has been nothing but abysmal. Currently holding a 9-16 record against FBS opponents and starting off the year with a 1-2 record, the Florida Gators are in absolute shambles right now. And the worst thing about it all is that every single year it looks like Florida is setting themselves up to have a dominant year. I mean, Florida consistently brings in a top 15 recruiting class year in and year out, and they've also taken pretty solid advantage of the transfer portal. But at the end of the day, Billy Napier was brought in for one reason and one reason only, and it's kind of the reason why any team brings in a head coach. It's to bring in some more wins. As crazy as it sounds, Florida was in a much better position under Dan Mullen than they are currently with Billy Napier. I mean, in Billy Napier's first full 2 seasons, his opening season saw him go 6-7 and lose in the Las Vegas Bowl, and then he followed that up with a 5-7 record and just missed out on a bowl game entirely, and now he's starting off 1-2, and the one win was versus Samford, so that doesn't really count. And the 2 losses are brutal losses, with an opening season destruction versus Miami, losing 41-17, and then this past weekend losing 33-20 at home versus Texas A&M. And don't even get me started, Texas A&M has their own problems that they're dealing with. But Florida fans are upset and they are done with Billy Napier, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. It is reported that high-ranking Florida boosters have gathered the money needed to fund Billy Napier's $26 million buyout. Because as it stands, Billy Napier is going to be the head coach for the Florida Gators through 2028. I don't think Florida Gator fans are ready to just lose the entire decade of the 2020s to poor coaching. And it's not just bad that Billy Napier, hasn't been winning games, even though, top 15 recruiting classes are fine. As the Florida Gators, you are technically the premier face of the state of Florida, which is already a dominant recruiting pool. You should be finishing closer to top 10 consistent recruiting classes, but that's here nor there. Florida should be in a much better position, and Billy Napier has all the tools and pieces around him to do so. But now he's starting to go back against the fans. After the disappointing loss to Texas A&M, fans were actively booing Billy Napier, calling for his job. And in the press conference, all he had to say was that, hey, I understand. But that's already after he's been checked by all of Florida after what he said versus the Miami game. Billy Napier said, and I quote, "I think we got to become a more consistent team and we have to execute better. If we can focus on those things and not necessarily what some guy in his basement is saying in rural Central Florida on social media, then we got a chance to be better, right? I think that's the key. Sometimes you deserve criticism. I think that's one of those things I would say I have no excuses, right? We got to get it fixed." So yeah, I don't think turning on your fans who are the basement dwellers in central rural Florida is the way to really win the fans over, to have them want to keep you as the head coach of the Gators. The best thing that Billy Napier could do in this situation, which is already way too late to do, is to take accountability and not point fingers anywhere, because at least the Florida fans can still ask for your job. They can still say, hey, we don't want you here anymore. But at least if it does end up coming to fruition, you can bow out with grace. Don't get me wrong, I understand being a college football head coach, but a SEC college level head coach, that's a tough job to ask for. But you asked for it and you're getting paid like it. So you gotta, getting criticism, it comes with the territory. You can't blame the fans. You can't blame the team, because at the end of the day, you are the one who is in charge of making sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. You're the one in charge to make sure that all of your coaching staff is moving in one direction. If you need players at one position, it's your job to go and find them. If you need, at the end of the day, you can only control so many factors, and you can just tell the way that Florida's playing, there's not a quality, the head coaching is not there. Florida is losing. It's not like the personnel is losing the game. It's the coaching for sure. But to me, it's just a matter of time before Billy Napier gets fired, because the rest of Florida's schedule is absolutely disgusting. I mean, this weekend, Florida goes on the road to Mississippi State. Then they come back home next week to UCF. And then this gauntlet's insane. Then they are at number 6 ranked Tennessee. Then they come back home for Kentucky, just to then go up against the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Then they're at Texas. They come back home for LSU, that's not an easy game. Come back versus Ole Miss, which again, not an easy game. And then the only game that they could realistically win out of that whole stretch is they're going to be at Florida State. And Florida State's absolute dog water at this point. It is an extreme possibility that Florida only wins one game for the rest of the season. I think it is imperative that Florida comes out with a win either versus Mississippi State this upcoming weekend or versus UCF the following weekend, because that SEC gauntlet that they're getting ready to go up against is not going to be an easy one. I mean, Tennessee is looking like absolute monsters with Nico I at the quarterback position. Kentucky just put up an absolute masterclass versus Georgia and almost came out with the win. And then you follow them up with Georgia, who you already know that's going to be, I'm taking the overs, I'm taking the spread, 28.5 plus, I'm taking all that. Then, come on, you go after Georgia, you literally go Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas. Disgusting. Oh, okay, you finally just got whooped up by Georgia and Texas in back-to-back weeks. Then you go LSU and Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is my dark horse to win the actual national championship this year. I feel sorry for all my Florida Gator fans. I hope that you can find I hope that it makes you feel better that at least Florida State's doing terrible. You know, Miami's they're doing the decent, but at least Florida State's in the same position that you guys are. I think it's only a matter of time before Billy Napier gets fired. The amount of money that they're paying him and the just lack of wins that are coming along with it, I don't think you can stay in that position that long. And it's not like he hasn't had time. This is year number 3, and there's a very realistic chance that you only win 3 games this year. That's just not going to get it done as the Florida Gators head coach. But I want to hear from all y'all. Comment your thoughts down below on how quickly do you think that Billy Napier should get fired? Do you think that he should get a whole nother year? Do you think he should get 2 years? Do you think that he's still trying to develop his culture, or do you think time's already running out and his time at Florida is already over? I want to hear from y'all. Comment your thoughts down below. Leave this video a like and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the fire videos that we drop on the channel. I love and appreciate each and every single last one of y'all. If nobody has told you this today, you are absolutely amazing. You bring more light and more just positive energy in more people's lives than you will ever realize. Don't ever think that you don't make a difference in this world. Sometimes you just having one interaction with somebody can not only just make their day, but sometimes it can make your day. And if you're ever just feeling like, hey, I just don't know, I don't know where to go. You know, a lot of kids, you're starting school back up, you know, you're kind of like, you might already be getting burnt out, whatever it may be. Know that you can always call upon Jesus Christ. You're never too young or too old to have an interaction with Jesus. All that he wants to do is just build a true relationship with all of us. Know that you can always call upon Jesus. There's no special words or prayers that you have to say. Literally just open up your heart, because he already knows what you're thinking. He already knows what you're feeling. Just open up your heart to him. Just have a normal conversation and just listen and allow God to speak into your life. Love and appreciate all y'all. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.